Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Spencer Chamber of Commerce annual meeting. As you can see, we're doing things a little bit different this year, but we're going to have a little fun tonight. If you'll spend just a few minutes with us, we'd like to show our successes here in the city of Spencer. We're going to share the good news. This all came about after a meeting with the Spencer Betterment Committee. We were talking about the many successes that we've experienced in Spencer over the past 12 months or so, and we thought we really should share that with other folks. So tonight, you are the audience that we are going to share the good news. And I brought along Bob Fagan. You noticed who brought the Chamber Purple and who isn't wearing the Chamber Purple tonight. But we hope you'll excuse that. And we hope that you'll excuse both of us. We're not the Brian Williams and David Gregory by any means, but we're going to have a little fun tonight and showcase what Spencer has to offer. You know, we're not a sleepy little town like Mayberry. We have a lot of things happening here, and we hope that you'll experience with us some of those many things, not only just retail or different parts, but all different service areas of the city, of which Bob and I hope to explain to you as we go along. So first off, Bob, if we could, we'd like members of the Spencer Betterment Committee that might be in the audience to stand up and be recognized, and so we can show you some of the folks that make up the Betterment Committee, which is a group from the city of Spencer. And I see Clark Cunningham, who's the president of the Betterment Committee. So Clark, thank you very much for your leadership. And Bob, it's been a great group and a lot of successes from that group.
It's been a phenomenal group. I came here, I've been here a little over 5 years now, and this group had been put together and had maybe a little different objectives. But we started out trying to find ways that how we could put the retail up and move it up a notch so we could help make it become a more thriving and be more of a partner with the community. And one of the first things we did was invite people that had a great interest in trying to improve our retail, and then started to give them tools that they could do to make that happen. And you might recall, Bill, that when we did this, but one of the first things we did into that group was to come up with the Buxton Report, which was a very extensive, thorough analysis of the spending habits of Spencer residents. And so we've been able to use that pretty decent when we go out and try to recruit people. But the primary thing that we did that I think that's made this a very successful thing is to put the chamber up where it needs to be as far as a very important part in our economic development push. And about 2 or 3 years ago, we officially made that designation so that even when somebody calls the city, we encourage them to start with Bill at the chamber first, because that's where all the data is getting gathered, and they're in better position sometimes than we are. So that's been very successful. We've made quite a few recruitment trips, went around the area at this point and tried to do that, and again, it's been really exciting. And for those of you that hear our economic development pitch, we always talk about the 4 prongs, and this is one of them that's just as high as anything else. Retail is what makes Spencer what it is. We are probably one of the highest per capita in our retail sales compared to our population. And with that, we also have seen a tremendous increase in our sales tax revenues over the last 2 years. For example, in 2010 to 2012, we've had about a 30% increase in our retail. So that's exciting. There's some good things that are going on. Obviously, we can do better, but we hope to share, between Bill and I, hope to share some of those exciting things that are going on, and hope you enjoy those.
And you know, when we take a look at some of the things you're going to see here in the next few minutes, this isn't all having to do with the chamber or any one entity. It's all of us working together, as Bob said. And that's why we are the Success City, as we were so named some years ago. Look down the boulevard here as we step away. This is one comment that we often get at the chamber, and we heard this comment so many times during the Clay County Fair, of how inviting Spencer is. As people drive through the city, they take note of what has happened here with the light fixtures, the enhancements we've made to Grand Avenue. So again, this has all helped us in our efforts as we get retailers and other folks to come to Spencer, and they take a look around, and they are truly sold on what we're trying to do here. So spend the next few minutes with us. Lucky for you, there's not going to be a blooper reel. After this, there's not, because we're going to keep them in. So what you see is what you get. So thank you for joining us here tonight, and we hope that you'll enjoy the next few minutes.
Let's go have some fun.
We'll do it. We are now at what is called the Green Industrial Center, and the first big project in the Industrial Center is the Pioneer Distribution Center, where we are at the present time. And Bob, as we get next to this building, this is one huge complex.
This is only half of the building, because you think of the other half.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So
This is a 200,000 square foot facility, right?
it's a 200,000 square foot facility that will be a warehouse to hold Pioneer seeds. And we are very appreciative that they did select our site for this. There were several other communities that were bidding for this, and in the end, this is the site they chose. Basically, it's probably going to be about 10 to 15 individuals that'll work here to start out with, and then there's room for expansion. Believe it or not, there's more area on the other side of that, and potentially more jobs that are coming. It's probably a $6 or $7 million facility by the time you figure out what's in here. So it's just a huge win for the city. It just shows another example when the community comes together, and how fortunate we are to have somebody like the Corridor that helped keep us in the limelight to get this thing landed. So we're very impressed about it. But there's still several acres left. We continue to have conversations with individuals, so we hope that this will continue to grow. But the toughest building normally is the one that the first one in the site.
Well, I'm a little confused at this point because Bob has brought us out to the wastewater treatment plant, the sewer plant, in other words. And Bob, is there a reason that you brought me here?
Well, there's two reasons. One, I want to showcase what we've been working on for the last year or so being built. But the other is, important aspect of this treatment plant we're at, the majority of my salary is paid for through the sewer fund. So, Bill, every time you flush the toilet or basically help fill in this equalization basin, part of that goes to me. So I want to thank you for that. So,
yeah. Oh, you're welcome.
So I'm very proud of this piece, and
I thought he was going to tell me I was full of it, and that's why we came out here to the plant. But
there's some of that as well.
okay. But well, what is it we're looking at here?
What we're looking at is the equalization basin, and I'll try to give in layman's term what we have going. I think everybody in the city knows that we've been under a court order that we have to separate our storm sewer from our sanitary sewer, and we're making huge headways. We started with the biggest portion of the project, and that's creating an interceptor line that captures the material before it hits the river, and then it brings it through a pipe down here, and goes into this equalization basin, and then is siphoned back into the plant at a controlled rate, treated, and then returned to the river. The neat thing about this is, or at least I find it kind of neat with numbers, is its capacity is about 8 million gallons of water. So of material. So that's you can see I don't know if you could catch the size of that, but it's a pretty good size basin, and it is a major piece of meeting the consent order that the state and the federal government's put us under.
Okay, so if anybody needs to leave the room right now and use the facilities, just remember you're helping Bob out.
Flush twice.
You know, the need for affordable, attractive housing has long been a need in the community, and if we were fortunate enough to obtain a major employer, it would have been a situation where we'd be in a world of hurt. But the way this has been set up at Stony Brook and other areas in the community, we're on our way to fulfilling those housing needs.
Yeah, we as we recruit more businesses, we still got a long ways to go, but this gives us kind of a jump start. A couple years ago, we did put a survey out to the community and those in the close proximity to Spencer, and found there was a good majority of people that said if the right type of opportunities arose, they would consider buying a new home here. And basically, this kind of was born out of it. As you look around. So in order to solve the problem that you laid out about having not enough housing in here, a lot of people got together, but the city, the county, SMU, some of the major banks got together to try to come up with some sort of incentive to make that work a little bit better. In the end, they came up with about a $15,000 incentive. So if an individual were to build a new home in the city of Spencer between $110,000 and $180,000, they'd be qualified for it. They'd have to use a local bank for part of it. But as a result, we had 4 building permits last year, and we're estimating we're probably going to be at about 25 to 30 building permits, new housing permits, not just here in Stony Brook, but other places. So, you know, basically seeing our new housing starts, you know, go up 7 times. That's just a phenomenal number. We hope this is a jump start for a lot of good things to happen, but this is just exciting to see what happens.
And as we said, Stony Brook isn't the only area we're going to see development. Deerfield Estates is just platted for a 4th plat, and so things are going to be happening there, and I know additional incentives for contractors and homeowners are going to be available there as well. Earlier we were talking about the Green Industrial Park on the East Beltway, which was constructed several years ago. Now we find ourselves situated on the West Beltway, which is a joint city-county project, Bob, and the bridge was constructed this past year and it was open to traffic, although it's a gravel road at the present time, but that's going to change as well.
Yep, the bids to do the gravel or the concrete portion, I think are going to the DOT yet for a bid letting yet this late fall or early winter. So it's exciting. It's exciting.
In May of 2011, residents of Clay County voted to construct a new Clay County jail. The jail that you see being constructed behind us here is going to replace the old jail built in 1938. It's located near downtown Spencer in adjacent to the former or the current police department, which is going to be relocated as well here in the next year or so. So this new $5 million facility is going to be a 24-bed facility and is going to have the modern features of what jails or how jails are made today. Bob, I was in City Hall looking at a brochure on the Northern Plains Regional Collection Center, and we've come out to the transfer station on the city's west side, and here we are at the collection center, newly constructed.
Just opened. It's the Northern Plains Regional Collection Center. This is a place where residents can bring in their hazardous waste that sometimes stays down in their cupboards or down below and want to know what they can do with it. It's not technically supposed to be thrown in the landfill, so we partnered with the Iowa Department of Natural Resources and got a grant that paid 100% of the cost of this. So.
Clay County Convention and Visitors Bureau is where we find ourselves right now, which is in the new Clay County Heritage Center, which is a part of an overall project that we're going to talk about here in just a few minutes. But Bob, we should talk about the Clay County Convention and Visitors Bureau and how it all came about, because this is just over a year old.
Yeah, well, it came about with, again, just like everything else we do in a collaborative effort with a lot of people, but primarily the city and Clay County worked together to try to bring this to some sort of reality. For a long time, we've recognized that tourism is an important part of, and visitors are an important part of our economic development strategy. So we wanted to try to put something in place that would help foster that in a little more easable way for people to find that out. So after a lot of discussion and stuff, we decided that if we could raise the funds, that we'd try to put something in place to do this. And I think a couple elections ago, the city got its portion by asking the public if they'd be willing to increase their hotel motel tax by 2%.
And what's neat is this is open 7 days a week.
It is.
People can come into the lobby, even the days when the museum itself might not be open. You can come in here and get the materials from all around Clay County and beyond, and get any type of visitor information. If you'd like to make an inquiry as to holding a meeting here or a convention in Clay County and Spencer, Jill can take care of you. That is why the position was created. So, and the Chamber is still involved in it. We do the administrative parts of the Clay County Convention and Visitors Bureau and oversee the Visitors Bureau, so we are still involved directly as well. But right now, Bob, I think we want to just kind of go in and see what's been going on here.
What has been going on?
The Vergston Gallery, which is part of the Clay County Heritage Center. And this is really neat. I mean, if you really want to get a historical perspective of Clay County, this is where you need to come and take a look. And I know you'll find a lot of things that you're not aware of.
Well, I wasn't aware that Abe Lincoln
was
lived in
born
Spencer.
right here in Spencer. Yeah,
I didn't know that. But there
a lot
he
of
is.
people didn't know that.
That's pretty neat. That's good to know.
Yeah. Where was the first Clay County election held? I mean, there are different parts. The Spencer Fire, the Great Spencer Fire of 1931. You'll see one of the trucks involved and some of the other things that are involved. We don't want to show the whole gallery. Well, we can't because we'd have to pay Deb admission charge if we went through.
Thank you for letting us in, Deb, without so we appreciate that.
I think.
Well, Bill, we just about got our 10 miles in. What a great trail system we have here. Isn't this cool?
And
hey,
we've done
wow.
this 3 times, so.
Hey, how you doing?
What are the chances of meeting you here?
Hey, we're kind of on this thing, kind of highlighting what's all the good things that are going on in the community. What's going on with you guys?
Well, we have awesome news to share. In May, we learned that we earned the designation as one of the first 4 Blue Zones demonstration sites.
Congratulations.
It's exciting,
And we have big news coming up because on November 29th, we have this giant event for the community. And we're going to have a lot of things going on. We're so excited. So that's coming up.
We want to find out a little bit more about what's going to be happening, because there is a big celebration, Aaron, coming up in November. And if you can give us a little more details on that.
So the November 29th event, it's at the Clay County Regional Events Center. It starts at 5:30. We have Dan Butner coming.
Great,
We're so excited.
Fantastic.
We also have Dan Burden. Allison, you want to add anything?
Chad Elliott.
Yes.
Chad Elliott's going to be here.
Yes,
Awesome. That's good news.
Yes. Kids
good.
events, free giveaways. It's going to be great.
high school
So,
choir is going to
yes.
sing. Yep.
This is open to the public.
Open to the public. YMCA preschoolers are going to be handing out little packets of seeds, and we're very excited.
It's going to be a fun night.
Yep.
It's going to be a great way
Free
for people to understand
and
more
fun.
about what it
Free fun.
Free.
Yeah.
We are so thrilled to share with you some of the many accomplishments and successes that we've had during the last 12 to 24 months. Some of the new businesses that have joined the Spencer community. Take a look with us. We also recognize the continued success from the Spencer campus of Iowa Lakes Community College, where they've just put the finishing touches on the surgical technology and medical office labs. Now there are, in addition to the new science lab and computer lab, it also should be noted that the Iowa Lakes housing units at the Spencer campus are completely full. You know, one of the many new additions that we just talked about, all the retail businesses that have joined the Spencer community in the last 12 to 24 months, one of the most exciting is where we find ourselves right now. You might have been wondering where we were sitting just a couple of minutes ago. We are at the Bear Coffee House and Wine Bar, one of the many new additions to the Spencer community in the past year or so. And Leanne Jacobson is with us. She is the owner of the Bear Coffee House and Wine Bar. Leanne, you got to tell us about this. This has been an exciting project down on the riverfront, and your dream has come true.
Right. And thank you so much for the opportunity and bringing the chamber out today. The Bear is officially a week old, and we are, as Bill said, and thanks to the efforts of the city, part of the riverfront, and as we hope a big development going forward. We are a coffee house, wine bar, craft beers, really bringing excellence and that casual upscale feel to Spencer.
And you're located right under the restaurant above. Bon Frozen Yogurt is next door, and now the Bear is joining us. And Bob, you might talk a little bit more about what's going to be just down the hall, Startup City Spencer.